If you're interested in the latest real estate market trends for the beautiful 30A community of Watersound West Beach, whether you're a homeowner or someone who aspires to be one day, this video is for you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to be walking you through the latest real estate market trends for the month of February 2025 here in Watersound West Beach. We'll be talking about the last 12 months of activity, as well as comparing it and seeing the trends that we saw from 2023 throughout 2024 and where the market could be heading as we get closer and closer to spring here along 30A. I hope you find the information helpful. You can always find more details and information and ways to get connected by looking at the video description just below here, or if you're a Watersound homeowner, certainly my contact information will be included in the email where you find this video. Let's jump into the information. So here below me, you're actually going to take a look at what we're looking at in terms of cottages when it comes to Watersound West Beach. And so these are looking at the 2023 numbers. So in total, and what we understand by cottages, if you're not familiar with Watersound West Beach, but if you're a homeowner, you certainly understand, these are the homes that are located toward the front of the neighborhood. A vast majority of these, if not all of them, have a single car garage, and they're going to go up to about 2,500 square foot in size. There's actually a middle range size home from 2,500 up to 3,000, and then a large number, vast majority of the neighborhood is going to be tucked further back, and they're going to be in that 3,000 plus square foot range. And so we're going to break down the numbers based on these three different categories to give you an understanding of where the market has been trending over the last 2 years. And again, as we look ahead to 2025, what we anticipate. If you're familiar with Watersound West Beach, you know there's not a lot of market activity that happens within the community. And as you can see here on this page, we're actually looking at, as I mentioned, the cottages, and there were only 5 that sold in the entirety of 2023. And so when we come here to the right-hand side and we look at the stats for 2023, you're going to see the average sold price for cottages in Watersound West Beach in 2023 was $1,728,000. That's actually a sold price square foot of $761. And then these homes were closing at an average of 99 days on market. And then the other important number that you're going to see here that I'm circling is that sold to original list price ratio. So what type of discounts were sellers agreeing to when it came to the sale of their home, and where were these homes ultimately landing in terms of where they originally started? And the cottages were trending right at that 92.5% range. So now let's take those numbers and let's jump up to 2024 and the last actually 12 months of 2024, as well as what we're seeing currently available. As you see here on the left-hand side of the screen, there are 2 cottages that are currently active for sale in Watersound West Beach. And if you come down and look at the sold properties, that means we have 6 that sold. And so basically almost the same number of homes sold in terms of cottages over the last 12 months versus what we saw in 2023. But let's come down and just look at the sold price average now. $1,780,000, $833. Sold price per square foot of $774. Sold to original list price ratio of 92.88. And days on market sitting at 133. I'm going to jump here real quick and show you. Let's look at these together so we can kind of see a comparison of where things landed in terms of Watersound West Beach for the cottages. So looking at where we are here in February of 2025, you got the 2 active listings, and they're sitting on the market at an average of $1.91 million. That's $806 a square foot, 171 days on market. And this is honestly not surprising. This has been the trend that we have been watching up and down 30A for the last year and a half. Days on market have been trending higher, and on average, as of this week, all the detached single-family homes on 30A that are currently available are sitting at about an average of 144 days on market. So these 2 active homes that are in Watersound West Beach, those are just a little bit above the 30A average in terms of days on market. I think the biggest determining factor for these 2 homes that are on the market is their list price. $1.91 million when we look at the sold properties over the last 12 months and the 6 that sold, that $1.78 million sold price, that there's a pretty obvious difference there between those two. But as you look at price per square foot and days on market, sold to list ratio, comparing these to 2023, that's what the numbers in parentheses are reflecting. We had one more sold. We saw an average sale price go up by 3.1%. Price per square foot was up 1.7%. And days on market, as we saw, the trend is continuing to see days on market go higher. And so all of that being said, what we've seen over the last 12 months and the trend from 23 to 24 was a very mild and slight home equity and home value increase for the cottages within Watersound West Beach. Now, we don't just take these numbers and put a blanket over the top of an entire community and just say that any home that's under 2,500 square feet considered a cottage within the community has gained 3% in value. That's just not an accurate statement. It's all going to matter, when it comes to determining the ultimate value of a home, you really need to dig into the finishes, the updates that have been completed recently, the location within the community, where it's located in terms of 30A. Is it in a more quiet area of the community? All of those are going to factor into determining the ultimate value of a property. But in general, which is what this report is intended to be, the good news that we've seen, even with reduced activity in terms of the overall 30A market, we're still seeing home value appreciation in terms of the cottages. Now, I'm going to take you into the actual larger homes as we consider Watersound West Beach. And now we're going to look at homes above that 2,500 square foot range, which would basically mean anything except the cottages. And so again, first tab we're going to look at here is going to be 2023. And so as we look over here on the left, you're going to see that 6 of these larger homes actually closed in 2023. We come here to the right and we're going to see these statistics as far as the averages. Average sold price for these homes was $3.233 million with a sold price per square foot of $907. Sold to list ratio of 96.25, which is really strong, reflecting the value of the community and how buyers that are coming in and sellers understand as well the value of their home, and they're not going to just steeply discount that property to get it off the market. And finally, days on market sitting at 76. So a pretty stark contrast in terms of days on market in terms of the cottages versus the larger homes. But then let's jump now to 2024 as well as up to the first 2 months of 2025 and see where we stand. 13 total properties. So you have 2 that are active currently and 11 that sold in 2024. So we go back to the stats. You can look here on the right-hand side of these 11 homes that sold. The average sold price was $2.797 million. And I know if you're a homeowner in the community, seeing the stark difference between what we saw for the sold homes in 23 versus what we saw here in 24 can raise some alarm. But I'm going to unpack that a little bit further here in just a moment and give you a bit of the insight in what I believe may be part of contributing to that. Okay, so one thing I want you to note is the average price per square foot of the homes sold in 2023 sitting at 3,242 square feet. Sold price per square foot sitting at $861, and original list to sold ratio of 92.57. So about a 4% further discount to see these homes move in 2024 versus what we saw in 2023. And then days on market is actually just a touch 2 days shorter in 2024. So as I did with the cottages, I actually want to come in and do the same thing here. And we're going to look at the larger homes. And so as we look at the Watersound West Beach larger homes for February, active listings of 2, as I mentioned before, sitting at an average list price of $3.23 million, $917 a square foot, 76 days on market. Now, as we reflect back on the previous 12 months, we've seen 10 of these larger homes sell, and those averaged at $2.8 million. So if we go in and we look at those numbers, 13.5% decrease year over year from 23 to 24 in terms of where these larger homes were selling. Average price per square foot of $861, a little bit softer of a decline at 5.1%, but then again, properties moving just a hair, 2.6% quicker than they moved in 2023. And sold to list ratio, again, being about 4% lower than it was in 2023. But here's the factor that I think many miss or may not understand, and as I mentioned it at the outset of the video, when it comes to Watersound West Beach, in terms of the property types that are located in the community, it's very clear when you look at the cottages up to that 2,400 to 2,500 square foot range. But then most of the homes, as we saw in 2023, were going to be in that 3,200, the 3,200 range. 3,242 is where we saw the homes that sold in 2024. But when you come down and look at the size of the homes that sold in 2023, you're almost 300 square foot larger. And so there is a portion of homes, it's almost like the mid-range sized homes in Watersound West Beach that range anywhere from that 2,600 to 2,700 square foot up to 3,000, 3,100 square feet that is actually going to serve as a middle range property. Those homes are almost always going to be trading under the $3 million mark. And when we look, actually I pulled the stats, and when I look at 2024 and we see the 11 homes that sold, 7 of those would be considered the 3,000 square foot and larger, and 4 of those that sold fell in that 2,500 to 3,000 square foot range. If I pull out the 2,500 to 3,000 square foot range, and I just consider those homes that are above 3,000 square feet to get a little bit better of a year-over-year comparison in terms of the homes that sold in 23 versus the ones that sold in 24, the decline is much less significant, sitting at about 6.5% versus that bigger jump where that alarming change in home values and sale prices year over year. Overall, in terms of the real estate market in Watersound West Beach, the best thing going for Watersound West Beach is the fact that there is such limited inventory that is going to become available during the course of a year. And as a result, home values and negotiations, it's not like any home buyer can walk in the neighborhood and have an abundance of options to choose from. And therefore, when the right homes come along on the market, sellers and buyers are going to negotiate those relatively quickly in terms of comparing it to the overall real estate market on 30A. So as we look at in terms of just the general idea and understanding of what's been happening in Watersound West Beach over the last 2 years, the reality is, as most of the 30A market has seen, it's been flat to slightly declining in the last couple of years. And that's simply because we've seen a reduction in demand with a heightened supply. Not necessarily the case in terms of higher supply in Watersound West Beach, which I think has protected the home values within the community quite a bit. But ultimately, as we look ahead to 2025, the reality is we're still waiting to see how buyers are going to respond. Mortgage interest rates have certainly not seen the improvement that we had hoped for, and as a result, buyers are having to accept the new rate reality if they're going to actually step forward and make the dream of owning a 30A beach home a reality. Watersound West Beach continues to be one of my personal favorite communities up and down 30A. You're gated, you've got great beach access, you've got great amenities, you've got tremendous privacy, as well as being located in one of the best areas of 30A that you can find. Surrounded by Deer Lake State Park, Eastern Lake to just off to the side, and a beautiful walk and pool area to enjoy with your neighbors. As you know, Watersound West Beach is a great neighborhood. If you've got questions, maybe you're a homeowner in Watersound West Beach and you're receiving this video in my email, and you've got questions about the value of your home, I'm more than happy to put together some custom numbers for you, give you a better understanding of what the value of your home may be in today's market. And if you're watching this and exploring home values in Watersound West Beach because you're a potential buyer and you'd love to own a home in Watersound West Beach, I'd certainly love to offer you guidance throughout that process as well. You can find my contact information certainly in the email below if that's how you're receiving this video. But if you're watching this on YouTube, all of my contact info, phone number, email address, my website is located right down there in the description below. If you're new to my YouTube channel and you enjoy receiving information and insights about the 30A real estate market as well as the lifestyle that we all love here along 30A, be sure and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you can be made aware every time new content like this hits my channel. I hope you find this information helpful, and until next time, make it a great day on 30A.